Disney has just released details of their upcoming streaming service, and I think you're going to like it. Welcome to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a very short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel. Be sure to click on the notification bell as well. It will let you know when a new video is posted in the future. Alright, now let's get right into it. This streaming service is going to be called Disney Plus, and it's going to go live on November 12, 2019. Disney boss Bob Iger hosted an event where he talked about the details, and it's a literal embarrassment of riches. Remember, Disney owns Pixar, Disney owns Marvel, and Disney owns Star Wars. And not only that, they recently obtained Fox Studios. So that not only means they're getting the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back, but they're also going to have the rights to Avatar, Aliens, Predator, and The Simpsons. And even more incredible is the price point of Disney Plus. It's only going to be $6.99 per month. Currently, Netflix is #1 in streaming, but they have to be shaking in their boots. Only the Disney streaming service could you watch all the MCU movies, all 30 seasons of The Simpsons, all the awesome Pixar movies, and even original programming that's coming down the pipeline, such as MCU spin-offs, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision, which teams up Scarlett Witch and the Vision, of course. And of course, the Disney Princess Archives. There's so much content here, it's just completely ridiculous. Netflix is like a grade A T-bone steak, and it's very good. But Disney is giving you 2 T-bone steaks and selling it cheaper. The Netflix Marvel TV shows have been canceled, and they will no longer be showing any MCU movies. It will be completely property of Disney Plus. Netflix was preparing for this in the comic book movie and TV game by forming partnerships with comic book creator Millar, most famous for Kick-Ass and Kingsman, and they also cut a deal with Liefeld to bring in his Extreme Studios characters. I made videos about those in the past. See the link in the description for more details about the Millar and Liefeld deals. Disney bought Star Wars from George Lucas a couple of years ago for about $4 billion. But the first 3 movies that are now 4, 5, and 6, New Hope, Empire, and Jedi, were exclusive to Fox. Now that Disney has bought Fox, they got those too. So all 9 canon Star Wars movies will be in the hands of Disney, and they're going to keep cranking out more stuff. And it just keeps getting crazier. They have plans to do a Marvel What If TV show. If you've never heard this is based on the comic books that Marvel has done over years, in which they explore alternative universes and storylines. I am barely scratching the surface on all of this news. Disney is to the entertainment industry what Walmart is to retailers. You're just in the way of this big behemoth, and you're going to get trampled unless you just join them. You know, some people don't even know that Walt Disney was a real person who founded the company. I don't think that he would ever imagine that his humble animation company would ever become so huge. Starting with Steamboat Mickey back in 1928. Fast forward to 2019 and we have Darth Mickey taking over the whole universe. So what do you think? Will you be subscribing to Disney Plus? Will you subscribe to both Netflix and Disney? Or will you be dropping Netflix once Disney comes out? Let's face it, Disney is going to have so much content here, you could live to the age of 500 and never watch it all. It's just insane how much is here. That brings us to the speculation pick of the week. Yes! And the pick of the week for April 17th, 2019 is going to be Assassination #2 from Image Comics. If you remember, issue #1 was the pick of the week for March 13th, 2019, so it shows you how much I really like this series. It's the story of a mob boss who's had too many attempts on his life and his bodyguards aren't getting it done. So he brings in 20 of the best hitmen in the world to try to protect him. It's a dark comedy in which the hitmen have rankings like professional athletes or something. It's written by Cal Starks, who's most famous for Sex Castle, and he's currently writing Rick and Morty. And it's drawn by Erica Henderson, who's most famous for Squirrel Girl. Both Cal and Erica have been nominated for Eisners in the past, so you have a very stacked creative team here. There's something intriguing about the Hitman genre, like the video game Hitman, or John Wick, or Pulp Fiction. The both of this seems to love this genre. It's early, but Assassination appears to be a big hit. Issue #1 is going to a second printing, which is also coming out this week. So if this sounds like your taste, I would get in early on this. It's easily my favorite comic series of this year so far. The runner-up is going to be Xena, Warrior Princess #1 from Dynamite Entertainment. This is based on a television show that ran from 1995 to 2001. Starring New Zealand actress Lucy Lawless is the lead character. The show found a niche because it gave us a Wonder Woman when DC was not giving us a Wonder Woman in live action. The television show received cult status among the lesbian community. The character had a sidekick, Gabrielle, that went everywhere with her, and it was implied but left ambiguous if they were lovers or not. Based on the character's cult status, the fact that the print run won't be that high, and the awesome David Mack cover, I think this is a good pickup. That brings us to box office numbers over the April 12th to 14th, 2019 weekend. DC's Shazam held down the #1 spot for 2 weeks in a row, clearing $25 million this weekend. Congratulations to Warner Brothers for having another hit. Shazam had a $100 million budget and has grossed $221 million so far worldwide. At the end of this run, it should do about $500 million and should produce a sequel. Coming in at #2 in its first week is a surprise, with Little crossing $15 million. This is the body-swapping comedy starring Regina Hall, best known as the stripper on The Best Man and Girls Trip. And it's the cinematic debut of Marsai Martin, who plays the youngest daughter on the hit TV show Blackish on ABC. This film had a $20 million budget, so it should do about $65 million at the end of its run, which is pretty good. And coming in at a disappointing 3rd place in its first week is Hellboy, making just $12 million on its debut. Congratulations to Little for overperforming, but I don't think that Lionsgate expected to lose out to that movie when they put out Hellboy. They were hoping it would knock off Shazam and take the #1 spot. I talked about this last week that I do like the Hellboy character, but I was surprised that they did a reboot and did the 3rd film of this character. He does have a cult following, but he's a niche property, sort of like Judge Dredd, which they tried twice and also had very soft box office. The first 2 Hellboys came out in 2004 and 2008. The second one can blame its soft box office on being released just 1 week before The Dark Knight came out. And you know how that turned out. Hell who? I'm going to see Batman. This version of Hellboy, starring David Harbour from Stranger Things, has a $50 million budget. At the end of its run, it probably will be lucky to make $80 million, which would actually be losing money. A movie has to make about 3 times what it costs to make to clear a profit. The theaters have to take their cut. You got marketing and advertising. The studios got to pay its taxes. So if Hellboy doesn't make $150 million, it's considered a flop, and that's what's going to happen. Beyond hardcore Hellboy fans, I don't think the general public was asking for this. They're asking for and still not getting Thundercats and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Plus, it's time to get the critically acclaimed Image titles in live action now, such as Saga, which debuted in 2012 and has been the winner of an astounding 12 Eisner Awards from Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. It's basically Star Wars meets Romeo and Juliet. Brian has struck a deal with Legendary Pictures for his universes, so Saga, We Stand on Guard, and Paper Girls are possibly in play. Another project that deserves live action is Monstrous. Fresh off 5 Eisner Awards, it's a mix of anime and manga and steampunk influences, and it's an incredible sci-fi horror series that I've been talking about since I started this channel. It has an all-female creative team with Marjorie Liu writing and Sana Takada drawing. And Marjorie was the first woman to win Best Writer at the Eisners ever, so history was made. So long story short, instead of giving us a 3rd Hellboy, it should be a good time to give us the critically acclaimed Saga or Monstrous. I love independent comics, and not every comic book adaptation has to be DC or Marvel. So Hollywood, I hope you're listening. Put all the Brian K. Vaughan stuff on fast track and do something with Monstrous yesterday. And just put Hellboy to bed. It had its shot. So to my followers and subscribers, what independent comic book would you like to see adapted into a movie? Sound off in the comment section. You know the drill. Subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about the channel. And don't forget, I do sell comics at my eBay page listed here. One Stop Thrift and Comic Power are ran by the same guy. That would be me, Comic Killer 72. I am 100% feedback, by the way. Once again, thank you to all my subscribers and viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.